Okay guys, today's video is how to replace shocks on this van. And my problem is getting this top nut off. Of course, every time you deal with a shock, usually that top nut is fused together. So anyways, you can access it over the tire here, but there's not much room. So what I'm doing is I'm jamming a 9/16 wrench up into the top of the floor pan there, which that's going to rust now, scratching that all up. After about a quarter of a turn, it started collapsing this outer barrel here, and did that number to it. You can see where I was scraping. So I went in the garage and got me out a chain vice grip. And a chain vice grip is the thing to use. Even though it was compressing this also, collapsing it, but it got enough grip that all I had to do was turn it about a quarter of a turn and it broke the nut right off. So, my opinion, that's the easiest, best thing to do is use a chain vice grip. You can get plenty of leverage on it. And if you turn it quarter to half a turn, it's just going to bust the shaft off, and no need in getting out a grinder. That was my other option, was Sawzall here. But this nut right here is spinning, so I couldn't put a backup nut or backup wrench there and try and turn it. So that worked great. Just use a chain vice grip and spin it on the barrel here, and you'll bust it off. And you put a 9/16 on here, line it up against the frame, and it goes off. The lower nut here is 18 millimeter. We are going to put a little bit of lithium grease on there, and that'll help it. And I like to put dielectric silicone grease on the new one. Same thing you put on spark plug boots, and that'll help it seat up in there real good and smash down when we put the new one on. And if you use petroleum based products, it'll eat your rubber up eventually. So if you need to grease rubber, you always want to use silicone grease. This washer is different than this one. So it's pretty hard to get them messed up because it won't go any further than this knurl sticking up here. So just like that, tighten it down as tight as you can. You can put a backup wrench right here. To install the new one, I just went ahead and put it in there with the bolt through it. And we're going to line it up on the hole, and then we got to cut this wire and try and control it as it expands into that hole there, and get it lined up in this hole here as it expands real quick.